I'm Charles Wilson, Staff Product Cybersecurity Architect at Torque Robotics. This presentation will cover the deprecated functions perform scan activity. This diagram shows the overall AVCDL training path. If you're taking this training, it's assumed that you've already completed the AVCDL overview training, and additionally, that you've completed the requirements taxonomy, security requirements, secure design principles, apply secure design, secure settings, deprecated functions overview, deprecated functions identify functions, and deprecated functions incorporate scan trainings. This training will cover deprecated functions scanning. Before getting into how we perform the scanning activity, let's briefly review where it fits in the overall deprecated functions process. Here's the deprecated functions process, which we previously covered in the deprecated functions overview training. Our focus for this training will be on the third activity, that of performing the scan. In the perform scan activity, the updated build file invokes the tool used to take the element under consideration and scans for deprecated functions. This will yield a scan output file. Ideally, this would be done in the context of the CI/CD pipeline and without manual intervention. Now, it's possible to do this activity manually. This is true with all automation. We don't have automation until we can perform the task by hand. Just because we see these activities without an explicit actor doesn't mean that it's not possible for someone to invoke the tooling manually. And, as a reminder, the preferred form of the scan output is a JSON-encoded SARIF, because that allows for uniform handling of cybersecurity relevant information as it passes through the CI/CD pipeline. One might wonder, given that we've stated that deprecated function scanning is a hands-free activity, what the possible considerations could be. Even given its automated nature, there's still a concern worth considering. Let's take a look. The only point of consideration we have is that of the impact on the build. Even though deprecated function scanning is not a resource-intensive activity, there's still the possibility that it will perturb the build process's timing or storage constraints. This is true regardless of whether we're talking about a build on the developer's machine or one on a dedicated build server. Keep in mind that when scanning is performed by a standalone static analysis tool, that because these tools are typically backed by databases, they may have large storage needs. That covers the perform scan activity of the deprecated functions process. Let's look at a summary. First, use SARIF for output when it's feasible. This is a kind of future-proofing, as JSON-encoded SARIF is easily processed by Python. This allows you to easily ingest the issues into the issue tracking system. It also can be used as feedback directly into various IDEs to facilitate mitigation by the developers themselves. Second, and most importantly, always consider the build system impact of the activity. It cannot be overstated that any disruption to the build system has a severe impact on the velocity of the development teams. And so it should be a priority to ensure that there's sufficient headroom for tools like static analyzers to be able to perform their task without exceeding either time or space budgets. For additional information and to get a more in-depth set of references, the deprecated functions perform scan procedure tertiary document is available in the AVCDL GitHub repository. All AVCDL materials, both in source and distribution forms, are available on our GitHub site, as shown here. Because of the size of the repository, it's recommended that you either clone the repository or download a zip archive of it if you're not familiar with using Git. Instructions for downloading a zip archive are linked to on the repository's front page. Videos covering various aspects of the AVCDL are available on our YouTube channel, as shown here. It's important to note that all AVCDL materials, except for the introductory blog posts, are intended for product cybersecurity engineering practitioners. With this training complete, if you've completed the other trainings covering the deprecated functions process activities, you can proceed to the other trainings at this level. These include code reuse and secure coding. Here are the references to the source material used in the creation of this presentation. They'll also be included in the video description. Additionally, this presentation's source material will be provided on the AVCDL GitHub repository.